Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, this is Jackie Cation, and you are about to listen to the Dork Forest since 2006. And it is on iTunes, of course, where you may have received it. You may have gotten it at dorkforest.com. Feel free to review it on iTunes. We are part of the All Things Comedy Network, allthingscomedy.com, where my new hour special, This Will Make an Excellent Horcrux, is available for $5 download. Knock yourselves out. My website, JackieCation.com, has a player if you want to just listen to it and you don't want to do iTunes. And JackieCation.com has everything. It has my stand-up schedule. It has a merch page where you can get Dork Forest t-shirts and even order a Dork Forest hoodie if you like. All of the shirts are made in America because while I'm willing to wear clothing that are made by toddlers, I'm unwilling to sell clothing made by toddlers. The hoodies, special ordered, for some reason, still made in the Philippines. I don't know why. Possibly because they're super cozy, and I don't sell that many of them, but I should work on that. Anyway, there's a chance to donate to the Dork Forest. If you enjoy the Dork Forest, feel free to donate. $100 a year makes you a super fan, and you could do that in one chunk of $100, or you could break it up however you want, because I have not made that easy for you. It would be $8.33 a month if you want to do it. You could also just order stuff if you want Dork Forest t-shirts or CDs or DVD. I have 3 CDs out and 1 DVD, and you can order all of them. You could order a t-shirt, you could order a hoodie, and that will also support the show, and I totally appreciate that. Yeah, just so you know, the DVD of the Horcrux is Friday's second show. That is the video. And the CD is Saturday's second show. I don't know. I didn't videotape that one, but I like that set better, so that is the CD. The DVD is approximately 56 minutes long, and the CD about 48. So they're different sets, but they're the same material, and it's weird, but I like it. The credits. Let's credit the people that make this show possible, quite honestly. We have Mike Rickberg, who sang the intro song and composed the intro song and sings it with his girlfriend, Sarah Cohen, and he will sing Mexican Hat Dance at the end of this. The audio is fixed every week, and the teasers are created by Mr. Patrick Brady. Mr. Patrick Brady, friend of the show. Vilmos does my website, JackieCation.com. So if you're looking for someone to do your website, go to JackieCation.com, scroll down, and click on that link. All right, let's do this. Enjoy. At RBC Wealth Management, social responsibility starts at the top. As a part of the Royal Bank of Canada, RBC has been recognized among the world's financial, social, and environmental corporate leaders. Our sense of responsibility extends to our reputation for putting clients' interests first. My personal commitment is to help you achieve your financial goals by also considering sustainable and responsible investing strategies. To learn more, visit www.darlacashin.com. RBC Wealth Management, a division of RBC Capital Markets, LLC. Member NYSE, FINRA, SIPC.
Yes! Welcome to the Dork Forest! It worked! Chicago, Illinois, in something called the Elastic Bar. That's not what it's called.
It's actually the Elastic Arts Foundation.
Oh, is it a foundation?
It's a foundation.
Is there a development director? Let's meet that person.
I think you are. Did you know that?
Didn't I know that? I just got promoted to development director of the Elastic Arts Foundation. Mm-hmm. It's stretchy. Here we are at the first ever Comedy Exposition 2014. Applaud for that, because it has been amazing.
Wait a second. This is the first ever?
This is it.
Because it feels like the 30th ever.
Right.
Because of how well run it is.
Smooth with a V.
with a V.
That's
smooth with a V.
That's how smooth it is.
Is that because you can't hear the V?
You can't hear the V.
In smooth?
In smooth, you can hear the V.
Smooth, but there's a V in there.
Right, there's a V in there.
I get it. Silent V.
If you're pretty, hello and welcome to the show. Mr. Sean Patton is my guest here at the Chicago Comedy Festival Exposition, and it's Mr. Sean Patton on Twitter. Am I correct?
It is Mr. Sean Patton. Or if you're smart, like people think they are, it's Mrs. Ian Patton. Ha 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 ha.
I see what
it's
happened.
so funny. Please tell me again. Tweet at me again how it's Mrs. Ian Patton, because you're definitely the first.
Right, it isn't really being addressed, except for someone spelling Ian, E-A-N, right? Which is
Damn
weird.
it, that's awesome. I should have fucking known that.
Yeah, right? How about the fact that when I was a child, I read a Jim Kjelgaard book called Big Red, and then Outlaw Red, dog books. And they were Dork Forest.
Welcome
Anyway,
back.
so, the name of the Outlaw Red, his name was Sean, spelled like your name, Sean.
The only way?
And I called him Scene.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was 11.
Oh, yeah? Speaking of being 11, my 6th grade religious studies teacher said scene, too.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. You were on the same level as a 41-year-old religious studies teacher when you were
Exactly, when I was 5th or 6th grade. Right on. That is true. You know, let's go right back to me.
Yeah,
11 years
please.
old. I'm in Sunday school. We get a new religious teacher in Sunday school, and the woman is in front of our Sunday school. My sister and I are sitting there, and she tells us a story about how you have to be nice to your siblings because God will smite you if it doesn't happen. My sister and I, youngest of 6, 4 older brothers, and this woman tells a parable. She makes up a little parable about how a boy was mean to his sister at breakfast, and then he got hit by a car on the way to school.
Christ.
Yeah, and my sister and I could not stop laughing in Sunday school, and we were both chastised. And then we're being driven home by our father, who worked in South Milwaukee, as he was driving us home. And he said, "How was Sunday school?" We tell him that story, and he's like, "What did she tell you? That's not how it works. That's not how God works. You get to do whatever you want." Anyway, yes, there were two extremes going on there, is what I'm saying.
What? Wait, and your sister nor you got ever hit by a car?
Neither of us. We let us knock on wood. We're not good drivers, and we are rarely in accidents.
And you've been mean to one another.
Oh yeah, we are cruel people.
Right there,
Only on
God
purpose.
is fallible.
Only on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You know how some people are thoughtless and they just say things? Not in our family.
They think them out, write them down, test them
Quick
out.
though, super fast.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, boom and slam. And but there's a beat when everyone thinks, "Oh, did you want to play?" And then, it isn't a positive. I wouldn't recommend you join our family.
You know what's
I guess
terrifying?
what I'm saying.
I got a glimpse of that just now as you went, "Oh, you want to play?" I saw
Yeah.
it. I saw it. I was like, Jesus Christ, you'd be a terrifying.
You don't want to get in the way. You don't want to get in the way with an assholecation. It's not
Assholecation?
Assholecation. That's what we're going to name my second child. The first one will be named Waffle. For no reason.
No, they?
No discernible reason. My husband, actually, Andy Ashcraft, would like to name our children Waffle. He doesn't like names. He doesn't like real names, which is, of course, an epidemic all over the God-blessed world.
I'm sure that kid will appreciate that name.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be named Waffle?
Until he's 9.
Yeah.
When he changed it to Walter. And then back to Waffle when he's 20.
Exactly. When he starts painting with acrylics.
Wafflecation! Wait, what would his middle name be?
I don't know, something normal, like Tavit.
Yeah!
Which is Armenian for David. Anyway, so, here's the thing, is I do have a nephew who was named by his hippie crazy mom a million names and no cation on the back end because it was, they were doing the devil's work. Anyway, so he got her last name. So his name is Salmon. S-A-M-A-N.
Oh, no, not the...
No, not the fish, though his nickname in high school was Pez, which is Spanish for fish, because kids are hilarious.
Pez is Spanish for fish?
That's what he told me.
I wonder if the Pez people knew that.
Pescatarian. Remember pescatarians?
Sometimes
those
I'm real
fish
dumb.
people?
Sometimes I'm real dumb.
Sometimes.
It's a lot
Eventually,
of the time.
we're going to talk about you, but it turns out the first 5 minutes we're just going to talk about me. Hi, guys.
I'm learning a lot about me through you talking about you. I'm okay with this.
Wolfgang Patrick Beamel Benrode. That's the boy's name. And when I say boy, I mean he's 26. He's a grown-up man now.
He will do one of 3 things with his life.
Okay, and you may guess because he is already doing those things.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's already a grown-up?
He's already grown up. He designed the Ranger of the Dork Forest T-shirt that you can get at JackieCation.com, guys. Anyway, go.
That was one of my guesses.
Yeah?
T-shirt design.
No, he is an artiste.
An artiste? Oh, shit.
He had to be. He had to be an artist.
I was going to say, but I was thinking, artists that say, how Bill and Ted, in Bill and Ted's Bogus, their music saved the world. I go like his art.
I do think about that a lot.
Wild Stallions.
Right.
That was the name of their band. Was Wild Stallions with a Y.
With a Y. Wild
Stallions. What band today would save the world? He's going to a stand-up routine.
All of a sudden, he's going to break it up, break it down.
What if Grizzly Bear? But I thought artist.
Yep.
I thought like king, like not even terrorist, like evil genius bad guy.
Like Carl Rove.
Like a doctor. Like you have a doctor in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like Dr.
Doom. Dr. Salmon.
What was his name?
Patrick.
Dr. Salmon.
Wolfgang Beemel Benrode.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Or just like the guy at the end of the bar who has the stories.
Could just be a career drunk. Just decided to call it a day. Yeah. He didn't. He's a graphic designer in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C.? Mm-hmm. I like how we both...
Yeah, we do that.
Who's American, huh?
I don't know if you know this about Sean Patton, but he's going to be in the next show after this show called Subs, where you will be playing a substitute teacher, stand-up comic substitute teacher, no doubt imparting that kind of wisdom. Our nation's capital.
And we'll talk about our nation's capital. Where is it? Washington, D.C. That's
right.
It is not. It is a tax-free island off the coast of Virginia.
It's beautiful, but they don't have their own representation. Remember that?
I don't.
It's a super sad thing to them that they don't have representation. But here's the thing: they're not paying for it, are they? Asshats.
Exactly.
They're not getting it. There's no taxes.
And they got the guy who represents everyone else.
Right, standing right there.
Exactly.
Right? That socialist Muslim who is essentially the last couple of months just going, "What's happening? You guys know I'm not running for anything, right?" That's my favorite thing about Obama right now. He's just like, "I am not running for anything. You can say whatever you want about me for these last 4 months."
I'm cool. I did it.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is, remember, like you tour, as do I.
Right. Doing the stand-up of comedy.
Doing the stand-up, like you meet people. I mean, I'm from the South, where like when the word socialist was getting thrown around a lot, and it was by these people, these like lower middle class people. You'd be like, if Obama could magically turn us socialist overnight, you'd be better off.
Right. It turns out. Yeah,
Do you even realize you'd have a better life?
Yeah, one day a week you would not just be eating ramen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's you'd have any. But the thing is everyone thinks that they're going to be rich. So then they're like, "Well, I'm going to be rich one day, so I better get this asshole hat on quick."
The dishwasher with the 5 kids.
Right, with 5 kids, and you know that you'll
I'm going to figure out a new soap. I'm going to figure out a new soap.
See this brush? Longer handle. Longer handle.
Longer handle. I'm going to have verbal soap where you just look at something and go, clean. And it works. That's a spell. You're not going to invent a magic spell.
You are a sorcerer. But you do come from a place where that is magical.
Yes, I do, actually.
Yeah. I've seen so many episodes of Bones and Castle where there's voodoo going on where you're from. There's always some mystery where there's voodoo in Law and Order. There's just...
Yeah.
Were you raised by a sorceress?
Yeah.
Who would occasionally make a puppet?
I wish it was like that.
Yeah.
I wish it was just this city where like I wish I could say, yeah, when I was a baby and I breastfed, White Russian came from my mother's teeth.
And there was chicken blood drawn around my crib to protect me from the demons.
My dad was an alligator. A shapeshifter, because that's how he met my mom. She turned him into a shapeshifter, being the voodoo priestess she is. That was a spoonerism, is what that just was. I can't even say it without... Yeah,
well, you don't want to reveal it.
I don't want to reveal it. She's the voodoo priestess.
Sean Patton, by the way, from the mythical island of New Orleans.
Wonderful city.
Wonderful city. But are you from New Orleans or just from outside of New Orleans, somewhere else in Louisiana?
No. My family's all up in the city. For the true New Orleans nerds.
Let's go there. Yeah. That's what we're doing.
They all live in Lakeview and Chalmette, which are like the bookending. Sorry, they're part of New Orleans is divided up into parishes, which doesn't exist anywhere else. I guess
like Catholic parishes, like church parishes.
Yes, exactly. It's all divided up into parishes because it's still.
And are they being run by priests? Those parishes?
No, but they probably were at some point.
Okay.
New Orleans is despite all the voodoo.
Right.
And all the debauchery and all the drinking all night. It's a very, by default, Catholic city.
Right.
And the
Catholics love a nipple, though.
They love
They're like, show us a nipple.
They love, if you go to parts of Bourbon, anywhere on Bourbon Street on a weekend, there are always the Catholic Crusaders with the megaphones and the signs that say, like, burn in hell unless ye repent. And they try and talk people wasted out of their minds on the street into repenting.
Oh, wow.
And it fucking works sometimes.
Oh, really?
You see, like, the guy who's clearly just had an awful night, being like,
right.
You know what it is? This is fucking repent right now, man. Jesus, I'm sorry, man.
If you get a model and drunk, yes, you're going to get someone's like, you're right. You're right.
It's like,
it isn't going well.
That's what happened. No, you just bought a lot of backroom cocaine. You just bought a lot of blow from a guy in a stall.
Right, that is half baking soda.
Half baking soda,
sorry.
and the other half more. It's just baking soda.
You just freebased baking soda, which means you're going to feel bloated tomorrow.
You're a muffin.
You will rise.
You are a biscuit. You're a biscuit head. But I was born in Chalmette. I grew up in like a suburb 30 minutes north.
Okay.
But I have a giant family. We were the only like family in my giant family that moved into the burbs.
Okay.
And
so everybody else has stayed in the city.
Yeah.
And you guys a little bit of white flight. You did
a little bit of white flight.
All right.
And which is awful, because the suburbs, I don't know how they are everywhere else. I assume they're the same way, but the suburb, like, I know more fucked up, crazy, insane people in the suburbs. Craziest shit ever happened in the suburbs than you'd ever hear about, like.
But suburban crazy stuff, or like urban crazy stuff that has been brought to the suburbs?
You'd hear about crazy shit in the like in urban areas, like in the ghetto, where it's like, oh, there was a drive-by shooting, 2 people died.
Yeah.
But then in the suburbs, you hear about shit like, oh, this guy kidnapped his brother and his girlfriend, kept them in a trailer for 3 days.
Right.
Systematically removed all their toes and fingers, and then burnt the place alive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Way more fucked up people in the burnt. Like, because they're isolated, they're away from any culture or any sort of like moment where they'd have to like, oh look, I have to accept someone else besides a middle class white person.
Right.
They don't have that, so they like.
Right. If you live in a city, there's like 19 Mrs. Kravitzes around you, just staring at you, going, will you please not do that?
Exactly.
Yeah, but when you're out in the burbs, there's just one Mrs. Kravitz, and you can fucking trick her. You can fool that lady. Look what Bewitched
because
did
she
for
works
7
for your
seasons.
dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They changed Darren's. That woman didn't even notice. Huh? Boom. Do I have any Gilligan Island jokes? Huh? What is happening? Those people never got off that island. And that professor could build anything. Anyway,
we talking about Bewitched?
Yeah, remember she was from.
But then you talked about then you segued seamlessly
into other hacky TV shows.
Into Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thanks.
That was so good that for a moment I was like, wait, was Bewitched on a fucking island?
They went back to Salem, set twice, once in black and white and once in color.
Where was it based? Salem?
No, they were.
Where the witch hunts?
Yeah, they went back in time to Salem to the witch hunts. Because that's what you do if you have a witch sitcom. You want to know this real quick? Just a little aside. Yep.
Because we're on the witches real quick.
Yeah.
My first ever performance experience was playing Proctor from The Crucible in a classroom read aloud.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. The Proctor was kind of the judge dude, wasn't he? Or was that one of the?
Yeah.
Okay. I forget if it was if it was a lawyer or if it was a judge.
No, he was like it was kind of a combination of the two.
Okay.
Arthur Miller, crazy.
That guy was a nut.
Guy was nuts. You hear about him just banging winches and just
constantly.
He wasn't snorting baking powder.
No.
No, he was getting the real shit.
Cats in the cradle.
No,
so, here's my question about New Orleans. Mm-hmm. It has been, it was its own thing, right? It was a Spanish, French
first.
It was French first, and then Spanish, and then American.
It was. I'm gonna butcher this a little bit. I apologize, but because that's what.
Public school system
combined with all the booze here at this can't believe first year festival.
First year.
A lot of partying. It was French initially, and then at some point the French sold it to the Spanish without telling the people who live there. So then the Spanish came in and were like, no. We're going to completely... Because if you go to the French Quarter, all the buildings are very French, old architecture. But then all of like the balconies and awnings and things like that, that's all French. Because Spanish, it's all iron.
Oh, weird.
So they came in and tacked on their own. And then there was a fire.
They put like facades
basically,
up there. Like, this is too French. We're just going to put a window here.
Essentially, like, if you're on... I keep using Bourbon Street because it's unfortunately one of the only places people seem to understand in that city. But like, if you're in one of those titty bars, you're in a French.
You're in a French titty bar?
But when you go onto the balcony to show dressed for beads, now you're on a Spanish situation. Okay? The Spanish added all the balconies and all the awnings and all that.
Okay.
And then there was a fire, and the Spanish rebuilt half of it, and then the French came back and were like, oh, shit.
Look what they did with their stupid balconies.
Damn it, can we have it back? No? All right, we'll just move uptown and be rich.
Oh,
so
okay.
it became like, when you go to the city, there's what's called a neutral ground. Other cities call it a median, where it's just like I don't know if they were invented in New Orleans, but from what that's the other thing about being a New Orleanian. Most New Orleans are extremely proud of that city, which it's a great city, to the point where they will convince you that things were invented there. Where it's like, the first time anybody ever had a good time was in New Orleans. The first birthday party was thrown here in New Orleans, baby. They didn't celebrate nothing until New Orleans existed, baby.
Previously, people were just born and then they died. Nobody ever counted.
Nobody ate food. That was invented here. Nobody listened to music. The horn was invented here.
The horn?
And it's great because it's just people are so, and it is a wonderful place. But the neutral ground was where it was. The first strip was between what is now the Central Business District and the French Quarter. It was neutral ground because it was where French people living in the quarter and people living uptown would meet to discuss whether they could cross into one another's neighborhood.
Oh,
the neutral
okay.
ground.
Oh, I
now
see.
it's where now there's a streetcar on it, and in other parts of the city, that's where you stand when the parades roll by.
Oh, okay.
But it's
sort of a greenway. Is it a greenway now? Is that what they've turned it into? Sort of a
it's
bunch of grass
and streetcars.
Oh, okay.
And guys like really buff dudes jogging,
just
so that
ripped,
everyone sees them. Just
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a guy jogging here in Chicago today, and he was only about 20, 21 years old, no shirt, and thin, but not fit. Like a little, like weirdly saggy.
I think
it was so weird.
There are two types of male figures emerging.
The emerging male figure.
I think I have
discuss
an emerging male figure.
Yes.
I mean, physical, the body.
Sure.
They are powerful. No. I feel like I'm one. I'm like fat, but I'm solid.
Okay.
It's like I call it whiskey fat.
Okay.
Or whiskey thin.
Whiskey thin.
It's like, And then what you saw is what I like to call salad fat.
Oh, salad fat. It is salad fat.
You know what I mean?
Fat.
Salad fat.
That is.
It's like the guy doesn't eat a lot of calories and is maybe, healthied up a little bit, but his body doesn't exactly show it.
And his body does not know it. His body has no idea that he is jogging and that his pectoral muscles are not muscular.
They're not.
They're just sort of flapping in the wind, but not boobs and not fat. Just weird. It was a weird-looking man.
They're
just
just very eccentric nipples, is what I like to call that. Think I just named my next album.
Fantastic, eccentric. Do you have a current album out so people can get?
Oh yeah, it's called Standard Operating Procedure.
There you go.
It's been out for a while though, but it's on a special thing. You can find it.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, that's the thing I like to drive home about New Orleans is there's so much. Everyone always identifies with. If people who haven't been, they're like Bourbon Street. I've heard. It's like you should see it. It lives up to its reputation. It's just stupid and crazy.
It's a thing to see,
right? But that's like 4% of the magic that is that city. There's so much and especially now because the film industry is kind of set up shop there.
Okay.
Which at first you're like, how Hollywood likes to infect things and fucking make
turn
them
it
suck.
into a Starbucks.
But exactly. But it's a lot of people who are it's a lot of behind the gaffers and sound guys and girls who are like, oh, I was doing this in L.A. for years, miserable, didn't realize that, and now I can do it here.
Right.
So it's a lot of that brought in a whole bunch of people, and then the school system stepped it up as far as the universities are concerned. So now there's more college kids there, and there's actually a comedy scene there. Which you and I have talked about this on the phone.
Yeah, we have talked about this.
I started doing stand up there when it was one open mic.
Okay.
And that was it.
And
once
it was in Chinese.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so sad. And you had to do it in Mandarin.
You had to, or Cantorin, which is a combination of the two. It's Cantorin and Cantonese and Mandarin.
Together.
You had to do it to where even Chinese people didn't understand.
That is a classic New Orleans thing where you're going to take a couple of languages and smash them together.
Cajunify them. Cantorin, baby. People wasn't speaking Cantorin before they came to New Orleans. But
so
it's
there's
awesome.
Bourbon Street, and then, but I understand, like on Mardi Gras, you could go 2 streets over, and there's nobody showing boobs, and nobody showing the neck of their penis.
You can go thousands of streets over. I mean, Bourbon Street is it's one street, 8 blocks, that's it.
And that's it.
That's it. The French Quarter is 6 blocks by 13 blocks, so there's so much more going on. And Mardi Gras, the parade part doesn't even happen in the French Quarter. All the parades happen uptown.
Okay.
You just kind of drunkenly stumble your way into the quarter, into the dark, into the abyss,
into the
madness.
Right.
But it's the thing that you like. It's one of the top 3, I think, like street performance things every year. Okay. I've seen some insane street performers. Like, not on Bourbon, everywhere else in New Orleans,
But just in New Orleans doing weird shit?
They come from, they get people who make a living just traveling to cities doing
the thing that they do.
Eating live, dolphins. Not really that.
Right.
But, I mean, that would be Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I would be like, hey, come on, but I'm going to watch you do it once. Do it once, but stop that.
Right. People love dolphin. Yeah. What have you seen? What kind of? It was so simple. It was just a guy on congos, but he was just freestyle rapping about people as they walk by into a microphone. Just like, this guy's head is really fat, but it ain't as fat as this girl's ass. I'm not him. So, and it wasn't that mean either. I'm going to try again. He's playing his bongo. This guy's head looks like broccoli. I wish he would come and shock me with that electricity in his veins. And it was just very, it was all very friendly, but very, on the spot. And he had, like, a headpiece microphone. So it was, okay.
And it was, we watched him, because we were high, we watched him it had to be an hour and a half. We would go get beers and come back and bring other people. And he was just crushing it. And people were walking up being like, hey, throw like a 20 in his bucket and be like, say something about my friend. He'd be like, hey, your friend's got a real cool tie. I hope he never, ever dies,
Right,
and people were like, this guy's a genius. He's a fucking genius.
Wow, but that's really cool. I mean, that's just a guy just riffing and being really, it was like live caricature.
Exactly.
But with his mouth instead of a pen.
Well, and we liked him so much that we wanted to, we waited until he was like, all right, going to move on. We were like, hey, that was great. Would you like to smoke weed with us? And he was like, of course I would.
Yes.
And we did. But we walked with him, and he ran the corner, and there was just like a van, and it was like 3 other street performers, and he gave them his take of money he had just made, and they put it in the van and locked it. And he explained it was like a co-op thing. It was like these guys meet up and are like, this is our van, this is where the money's going to go, we're watching each other's back. It was kind of like, yes, bless you. Sorry about that.
That's good.
Sorry that I missed that. I was just, but it was a very.
But that makes sense because otherwise you'd get busted and you'd get robbed and.
You get robbed. You get all that shit.
Just rolled and beaten up and my brother's
flanked.
Flanked. Shanked.
Shanked, a real one.
Shanked. That's a real one. Flanked is just when someone comes around to the side of you. Or unless you're fighting.
Flank's not always a bad thing, is it?
No, but it's a great thing in D&D because then you get a +1 to your hit. Okay, so in other news, so that's the main thing but the rest of the town must have is there good Italian restaurants? I mean, is that because there's a lot of Cajun food, so people are blackening some things and they're throwing some garlic on some items, some deep frying, some catfish are being raised to be slaughtered.
Yes, they are in ponds.
I've only had catfish fried. Is there any other way to have catfish?
I like everything blackened. You said it. I love everything blackened. Blackened shrimp, blackened.
Okay.
Asparagus.
What is the blackening process?
You just put way too much salt, pepper, cayenne, and just burn it. It's not even cooked. It's terrible for you. It's the worst. I'm sweating right now because of all the blackened things I'm eating.
You've eaten so many blackened.
I mean, it's like the food there is definitely going to kill you.
Okay.
It's delicious and wonderful,
die anyway,
but you're gonna one day. And
you might as well just eat.
No, there's the rest of the city. It is a very nightlife driven city, but there is also it is beautiful. It does have 100-year-old oak trees and 100-year-old, hundreds of years old.
Now,
church,
I think it was Retta. I don't know if you know Retta. She does stand-up comedy. She's on Parks and Recreation.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think it was her. No, I'm wrong. Different black comic. Sorry about that. Hello, her name is Halura Lyle, and I haven't seen her in 15 years. Anyway, she had a family reunion because her family originally were slaves down in New Orleans, and they had a big family reunion there, and they took a tour of the plantations.
Oh, yeah.
And it was their family, about 32 people, and 3 white couples, and those were some nervous white couples.
Yeah.
And it was one of the greatest stories I've ever heard. Her talking about being on this boat, going down this river, and just the white people just getting more and more nervous. And they're going, yeah, that was it. See that? That's where the family used to live back in those tiny, see those shacks? Yeah. And it was just weird.
The ones that are, the walls are lined with spikes? Yeah, in there.
Yeah.
No, it's actually funny. I've been on those tours before, similar situation. Did you
go for school ever?
I did go for school. That's why
I went. That's one of the field trippy kind of things I bet they make you do, right?
And but it was like, it was a bunch of kids and then like, a group of black people and then like, same thing, like two white couples.
Yeah.
But it was funny because they weren't like, they never went nervous. They went the other way where it was like, and right here is where, they would, pick the cotton or whatever. And these people were like, oh, I can't believe they made them do that. Oh, that's terrible. Oh God, if I could only go back to then, I would bring them water and I would stop this from happening. I would take their clothes and be like, run, I'll do it, until they realize it's not you. Which they shouldn't do because you shouldn't see skin color. So they should never actually realize that you're gone. They should just look and be like, well, it's good. Like they really went, I remember being like 8th grader being like, whoa, I think you're making it worse.
Right, somehow. So especially if you're wearing like Bangladesh t-shirts and like some sort of shoes that were made in Indonesia. And, you're not really wearing anything any better.
Pants that are still being hemmed by a Chinese kid.
Move your cape and you will see the unlucky children of the world. I'm the only one who ever saw that particular version of Scrooge.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
oh, God, okay.
Remember when that guy just says, these are the unhappy children? And you remember that? No?
Bill Murray Scrooge?
No.
I think
I think it was one of the good ones. Alistair McCrawley. That's not a word. Drinking game. Drink when I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just go, chug.
And it turns out the audience is mostly sober after that game, Jackie.
How have I helped? How have I helped?
Audience, you listeners at home, you'll never believe what just happened. But Jackie's iced coffee leapt into her arms like a lover that hasn't seen her in years.
Oh, my God, I was almost electrified. Luckily, there was one sip that I desperately wanted, and now it's on my glasses. Oh, well.
That was pretty,
that was exciting, wasn't
I feel like I possessed your body for a second, because I do that shit constantly.
Oh, my, I am a gazelle. I am a gazelle when it comes to all foods, beverages, falling over, my left foot, my right foot.
I think that's the name of your next album, I'm a Gazelle.
I am a gazelle. Somebody wanted me. I do a very old joke about not getting how I'm not a wildcat in the sack. I'm hardworking and earnest.
Yeah.
And makes up for a lot. And the label Dan Schlissel was like, "You should call your album that." And I was like, "Yeah, but that was on 2 albums ago." And he's like, "I don't care. Still call it that." I was like,
"Just repeat it. Just do it again. Call it Getting Finger Blasted by the Man I Love." Which is also...
You have a great fingering joke on the second album. That's the second album I got, the George W. Bush. That's the name of it. And then it's a great fingering joke. Weird, right?
No. People, it's not. It's the execution, not the topic.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think you should be able to talk about anything, right?
Fingering especially.
Fingering is one of them. I went to the gynecologist, and I wanted to do a joke about it, and I literally paused because there's an unspoken lady comedy rule where you're not ever supposed to talk about your bodily functions. You're not allowed. Not allowed. And
is it so? It really is sort of. I've noticed that, but I've never wanted to be like, let me in.
What's happening?
Let me in on the secrets.
It's just sort of like whenever it happens, you just sort of everybody just goes, oh shit, I hope this isn't as horrible as it could be, because Elaine Boozler in 1983 did one joke about menstruation, and then nobody gets to ever mention it again, and whatever. And the thing is it's my vagina, my gynecology joke. It's more a come in your face joke, and that's never been outlawed.
Yeah.
That people are like, no, that is a classic that needs to be discussed at least 3 times a week.
You mean like lady come in the face?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Because that's nobody's
that is an untouched. That is something that clearly that needs a 20-minute chunk. Anybody? Of lady cum. 20-minute chunk.
Got a good.
Ew.
Call that a stream. It's a good 20-minute stream.
Here's what happened. I go to the gynecologist. My gynecologist actually says to me, "You have the vagina of a 30-year-old," which made me laugh so hard that I went home and I told my husband that, and he said, "I am the rejuvenator." And right? That's just funny stuff right there. That's just good joke.
Absolutely.
And then I said, "Yes, your penis is the fountain of youth, but you still can't come in my face, huh?" Boom! Dirtiest joke I've ever written in my life. Dirtiest joke ever. Dirtiest joke ever.
It's funny when you're not very dirty.
No, but the weird thing is, I did the dirty show in Moon Tower in Austin.
You did?
Yeah. So
God, I wish I would have seen.
I followed because I just did my act. No one was more disappointed than the audience because I essentially did the dirtiest jokes I had, which were just essentially poignant stories of sex. So I followed Ari Shaffir.
Who was just the king of it.
Just the king of it, because he hosted it.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Slayton. And then what I most...
The Pitbull of comedy?
Giving a bad name to pit bulls.
The Pitbull of... You know that's like a thing that I do all the time when I host shows? Whenever it's like a big secret drop-in headliner. Like I did it with... The first time I ever did it was with Galifianakis. Like he was at this show Whiplash in New York, UCB. You've done that. Great show. And he shows up, and it's like a secret drop-in headliner. And I went up, and I just was like, "Well, folks, you never know who you're going to get. It's New York, so here we go. We're great to have him. He just dropped in. The Pitbull of comedy, Bobby Slayton." And people clap like, "I guess this, okay?" And then no one comes out, and I'm like, "Is he coming?" And the guy behind the booth like, "No, he left." And I'm like, "Well, I guess we'll just bring up the next guy on the show, Zach Galifianakis." And people lose their shit.
And then they lose their minds.
But I did it once a couple of years ago when Nick Kroll wasn't Nick Kroll yet, when he was still...
Okay, when he was just Nick.
When he was just Nick,
yeah.
right. And I
he
did
used
it...
to just be Nick.
He used to be Nick. But I was like, he's super famous.
Yeah.
But I guess the audience was like, no, we don't know he is that much yet. Because then I brought him out, and they were like, oh, same response.
Oh, shit!
But then like 2 years later, he would have 2 TV shows on air and
boom!
Super famous,
and then they thought back in time and were like, why didn't I? But Bobby Slayton was doing this joke, and I'm sure he still is at this time, about how...
The Pitbull.
The Pitbull of comedy.
Pitbull don't change his ways.
Well, and it was only 4 months ago, so he gets to fucking do a joke for 4 months.
Oh, it's only 4 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no.
I thought you were saying, like, he's been doing this one since 83.
No. No. Not to my knowledge. But this one, it was just about how his wife had a 60-year-old vagina and how gross it was. And so I went up and I was like, but don't you have a 60-year-old penis? And shouldn't you be psyched wherever you get to stick your 60-year-old penis? And isn't it appropriate that you stick your 60-year-old? In other words, not that dirty. Not that dirty, Jackie. To talk about how the 60-year-old penis should probably go into the 60-year-old vagina, and that would be apropos.
You should travel with the filthiest opener you can.
And just follow and dissect it.
And just
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting theory on that business.
I would say just avoid letting him ejaculate in your nose.
Is why would you hang out with her, sir? Is who are you dating? Strippers? Don't date strippers. They're always going to be about your cheddar. Maybe if you dated librarians, you'd sing about how bitches be reading too much. Anyway, so that's my theory on rap stars. Anyway.
That's I did last year. I was doing a thing in Toronto, and Maria Bamford was there. We were doing the fucking what's that thing the Canadians love? Match Game.
Oh, right.
They love that shit. And it was fun, but Maria just, I guess, decided early on she was going to go full on crazy blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like all of her answers were just like, pounding it in the asshole. And it was in like drawings of it, because you have to draw. And it was the funniest thing because it was, Maria Bamford. I would love it if every time she went to Canada, just something snapped and she was just like, you fucking cunts. She just went so blue, but only in Canada.
Only in Canada. That's where it all happens. Where she was like, well, I was fisting this guy. And I don't know why. It's something about the border.
But the same version of that joke here is just like, so you ever think you're a butterfly? I do.
Yeah, there's monarchs and there's a blue one. Anyway, so Maria Bamford, you guys go see her.
We're both really good at impersonating her.
We're
apparently
amazing Maria Bamford impression. What else?
What are we talking about?
What were we talking about? We were talking about. Let's segue into, because there's going to be a big article about Maria this Sunday. Wait, today's Sunday.
World Cup happening right now.
World Cup right now. Argentina
and Germany.
and Germany.
You know where most of the Nazis fled after World
Argentina.
War II?
Did you see Albert Brooks's tweet about it?
No.
He said if Adolf Eichmann were still alive, he would be torn. Who to root for? Torn. That's good writing.
That's a good one.
Anyway, so no, it's actually next Sunday, July 20th, the day of my birth. That's right. Yeah, I was born. I wasn't just fully formed like Venus coming out of a seashell in Lake Michigan, because I'm from Wisconsin. Anyway,
can we reenact that on your birthday every year from here on out?
Yes, we can.
Here's where she came from the lake.
Exactly. I
Fully
will go
formed.
into South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I will rise from the sea of.
Did you call it South Milwaukee?
South Milwaukee?
Oh, I thought you
South Milwaukee. Oh, cripes, it's nice there. It's a straight shot from here. You could just go up Lake Drive forever. You don't wanna. It's that's where you just pass that second meth lab and then you hang a left. It's nice.
But say hi.
And then it's right by the Little League. Right by the Little League Park is where we're keeping the meth labs now. Anyway, true. Sad.
So on your birthday next week.
On my birthday, Maria's going to be in the New York Magazine. Big thing about mental health and about her and about being a smarty pants and being all comedy funny. And and you were talking about mental health and that you enjoy mental health as a dorkdom.
I mean, I enjoy it because it's good to have.
Good to have? Yeah.
I think everyone.
How do you keep it together on the road? Because you're on the road all the time too, right?
I don't.
Oh no.
I do. Yeah, I do. It's sometimes your head goes to strange places. Sometimes you get into a cab and give directions to a place in Brooklyn when you're in Minneapolis. And the cabbie's like, I don't know.
You forget where you're going?
Like, oh, shit, sorry. Yeah,
you forget where you are.
Yeah, everything just starts to bleed together. I'll get like real, like, I just need to, because you'll have those days where you're like, okay, so the first person I'm going to talk to today is the host when I tell him what I want him to say.
Oh, right.
And that's
so you
5 hours from now.
Yeah.
And then, or like you get up and you do radio.
Oh, yeah.
It even like certain, like, I mean.
You've only got to sleep 4 hours.
Right. And sometimes people don't realize, like, I know comedians love doing Bob and Tom, but like, I've done it a couple of times and I find it really, I'm not a fan.
It's hard.
I feel
it can be hard.
Well, it's like you're ganged up on. It's like these 4 people who've spent the past 20 years, cracking jokes on each other.
Right.
And it's 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And you're like, so I'm supposed to do joke? I'm supposed to actually do material?
And
like
they
by
want
performing?
they want you to do material.
Right.
And it's actually hard because they half want you to do material and they half want you to talk. And you're like, well, you get to pick one. Because I can't really farm the joke into the conversation unless you set me up right, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a smash cut. And,
right. Yeah. Or they'll be like, so Sean, you think the airport's you think that the airport should be a little bit nicer with who they let in. And that's like, is that my joke about homeless people in airports? But then it's also like you'll start setting it up being like, no, I used to be a dog walker, and they're like, dog walker, what's that like? What kind of dogs you walk? Huh?
Right.
And you're like, am I going to fucking do the bit? But you won't let me do the bit.
Let me do the bit, and then
you want to just fucking talk? Let's just fucking talk.
I will say this about rage when doing the stand-up comedy, because it feels completely inappropriate because you get to do stand-up comedy on the road and you feel very successful and your life is very beautiful and then but you just want to punch somebody and it's the tiniest thing and you're just like, what do you mean the thing's not ready? Wait, the room's not ready? I'm sorry, I called and I said that the room I had an early check-in. Is that not happening? And they're like, ma'am, it is not happening. I'm like, I am so sorry. I am losing my shit, and I got to go away. And you just got to take a lap. And then I also, if you're the only people you're going to talk to at night are the other comics all day long. I am the chattiest fucking magoo with every waiter, with every barista, with every just people I'm walking behind in the hotel, going, the elevator took a while, didn't it? Didn't it take a...
Yeah.
In the hopes to have a human goddamn connection in the waking hours.
God bless anyone who's accidentally called me during those days to ask me a question.
Yeah, because it can save your life.
And you get a 2.5-hour response.
Right.
It's just, but I feel it's also like...
Because 6 hours on Twitter doesn't cover it.
No. 6 hours, walking, like, it can get so. But sometimes it's great when you're in like an actual city.
Yeah.
And you can walk around and just like this is where I need.
Right.
I don't want anyone else around.
Yeah.
And I like to can I do my set via satellite?
Right, because I want to be in this town and just walk around.
Right.
I appreciate all of you guys coming out to sit in the dark here in a beautiful afternoon in Chicago. It's so beautiful out there.
Yeah, I know.
should just be out. We should all just fucking be out there.
We slept till 1 p.m.
Oh, really?
Because you stayed out so late at the party, after party. You weren't there, I noticed.
No, what happened was I went out, I stayed out till like 2:30 the night before, and then I was like, oh, I'm done. And then today I did Peter's podcast, which is Make Your Life Full of Despair. What the hell is it called, Peter? This Week in Despair. See that on iTunes.
I thought you were taking a shot.
No, I was not. Allow me to take that shot now. Here's the thing about This Week in Despair. He finds the most depressing topics possible, and then you're like, riff. And you're like, okay, Hobby Lobby, hilarious.
So he's like every comedian's uncle when they find out you start doing comedy.
Well, but it's much smarter. It's a lot smarter. It's a lot smarter than that.
Have you seen how they put gum in the flat packages now? Here, do something with that.
Oh, except for that, no, not at all, actually.
Except for despair.
It's much darker. We found out there was some woman who's on YouTube who's using her ventriloquist powers to have a YouTube channel where she masturbates to it. To her ventriloquist Slappy, the dummy, is masturbating her, and I wonder if I didn't watch any of it, which I think is a blessing for me. But if you get a chance, find out if she's a good ventriloquist. Like, is she actually throwing her voice while she's going, I don't know what you're like, but I'm gonna beat you up, you stupid bitch. And it's weird because she plays essentially a battered wife, and the puppet plays a misogynist.
Oh.
I mean, it's easily one of the most depressing fucking things I've ever heard of in my life.
It's got the worst visual. Of just like a woman.
Yeah, that's an actual visual. That is possible.
Of the masturbating, like somehow painting her clitoris like a punching bag and having one of those punching nun dolls. Like, you're so bad! And just.
Oh, God. You should do The Week in Despair.
People do.
That's hilarious.
But she's like.
26-year-old ex-stripper.
And her puppet is masturbating,
but it's a green monster called Slappy. And the thing about ventriloquism
is fucking brilliant, man.
Well,
if she's good, like you said, though, if she's good.
I hope she's really good at ventriloquism. Peter, did you watch it? No, fair enough. You just read the article and was like, I know better than to go there. Good for you.
Even though that hesitation says yes.
It means he thought about it, at the very least. But, but mental health it's so important to really figure out how to keep yourself sane on the road.
Well, I'd say, like, that's kind of been a thing, because I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and people, I think a lot of people claim to have it, and it's like, why? What's your thing? How have you saved the world today?
Right. Well, by clenching your fingers.
What compulsions have you done that have prevented a meteorite from striking the earth?
Okay.
Even though you know that's not true, but it's a lot like when it's
there's different levels.
There's different levels, of course. Like it has nothing to do with germs or right angles sometimes.
Right.
But especially in this business, there are a lot of people. We both know who are like they have to make pills appear in their mouths to be normal people, and they have to and it's kind of scary that no one seems to truly give a shit about mental health these days. I know
about it a lot.
Everybody's like, we need to do something, but like L.A., if there really are any frontiersmen of the mental health trade, go to fucking Los Angeles and save it, because there are so many insane people on the streets, and you just kind of brush them off as hobos, because that's technically what they are.
Right, because they're hobos, but it's because of the weather. They get to live outside.
Exactly, they get to live outside.
Yeah.
The sun lies to them and says it's okay to live on the street.
Right.
Yes, half of them are former crack or meth addicts or guys who are like, I'm going to live in L.A. I don't even need a home. Cut to 5 years later, that guy just wears a trash bag.
Right. I live in the valley, and in the morning I walk to the Starbucks 1 mile each way, you guys. I'm exercising. I'm out there. Anyway, so I walk and at 9 a.m. On Sepulveda and Sherman Way, there are strippers. and working that stretch of Sepulveda near Sherman Way.
Strippers?
It's not strippers, prostitutes.
I was like, what's
Oh, no. I'm sorry, they are clothed. They are clothed.
But I also thought you just meant like, hey, you want a private strip show in your car?
Yeah. Let's get over here by this Honda Accord from the 90s. And no, they.
Okay, so.
Yeah. So, but I walk by them, and so there's usually 3 women who are working, looking for sex money things, and then there's usually like 2 or 3 dudes who are just homeless guys who are just sort of talking to them from across parking lots.
Yeah.
Like just going, hey, how's it going over there? You know, and it's just, and they're like, Jimmy, not now, Jimmy. I'm working this corner right now. And
then he's like, not you, behind you. It's Walter. Well, no one's there.
But they're the only mental health. But those women are the only mental health that those guys have.
Yeah.
I mean, they're essentially their therapists.
I mean, yeah. And you could tell that, the group of people I have the least fucking sympathy on the planet are gutter punks. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Like, I hate them. Not you. But just like these able-minded, able-bodied, like, we're just trying to get fucked up and we got dogs and you're going to be more sympathetic toward us because we have dogs. We're using these dogs because you care about the dogs.
It's a prop.
To get money. And fuck it, bro. Why are you being weird? I'm just trying to get loaded and live my life. I fucking hate them. I hope they all, if the shit ever happens, take them first, you know? If the zombie apocalypse is real, I'm pushing them in front of me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you can tell when it's a guy who's just sitting there banging his head in the wall and has no hands. There's a dude on Hollywood Boulevard who doesn't have hands.
No hands.
And he's just walking around talking to himself, and it's like, somebody, come on.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I could do for this guy, but someone who's like a professional, go give that bear hug him and take him into...
Did you see? I saw a thing on Facebook the other day. Yeah, Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Anyway, it was a guy named Tim's Place, and it's a Down syndrome kid who has a breakfast place. A guy he has Down syndrome, and his dad and his parents and his brother. It's his place, but they kind of help him out a little bit. And it's breakfast and hugs, and so everybody who comes in, he hugs them. And then he makes sure that they get their food. And it was one of the most beautiful videos I've ever seen in my life. Just this dude who's like, yeah, I'll hug you. And he'll hug anybody. Is
it as good as the one where the lion recognizes the people, Sebastian the lion?
No.
You never seen that one?
No.
Want to cry today?
Oh, my God.
Happiness?
All right.
It's the gay couple that raised a lion until it was too big and they had to let it go.
Yeah. And
then they went and found it years later. And it recognized them both and like ran up and hugged it like a lion hug. Yeah, all set to a Whitney Houston song.
I'm almost crying now. All set to a song. Did you see the dog and the turtle playing catch?
Can't handle that.
Okay, that's
Jesus Christ.
Unlikely friends. Unlikely friends. The turtle playing fetch with a little terrier.
Where is this Tim's restaurant?
I don't know where Tim's Place is. I should find out. Definitely. I think it's in like New Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't think there's a comedy club there. Let's do a tour. Let's do it. Let's get out there.
Let's see if we can do a one-nighter. Tim's at the place.
Yeah, that it would actually be really great. It's but I do think that I think the dialogue is there to start with the mental health, especially because nobody's stopping those people from getting a lot of guns.
It should be like the number fucking one priority of everything.
Right, but
but
they want to medicate everybody instead of actually talking.
Right,
to people,
right. That's the line, is where it's like medication versus just actual therapy. But there's also a line there where you can tell someone who just really needs to talk to someone once a week versus someone who's like, no, you're fucking chemically whacked out.
Right, you're misfiring. Your synapses are not actually.
We're just gonna lube that up a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
And now you're gonna be okay.
I got several friends. Los Angeles is full of some very beautiful people who need an occasional. I feel very lucky that I don't have to take any of that stuff.
Myself as well.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I get depressed. I'm a human.
I had a Ford Explorer for 11 years. Every now and again, I'd have to put a little extra water in the radiator because it had a slight leak.
That's it.
Ran forever.
That is a occasionally depressed Ford Explorer.
Help me. Exactly.
Your Ford Explorer.
My Ford Explorer had a little slight manic depression.
Well,
just need a little water.
It's life, man. It gets better, and then that's what you want to tell all the gay kids in high school. It gets better, and then you want to say, and then it gets worse. And then you know what happens? It gets better.
And then you get better at dealing with the shit.
Right, and then it's just, it's an up and down kind of situation.
You just get better at it.
It's just, everybody dies. Did you know that?
Fuck.
Yeah. Bit of a disappointment to me. My father...
Everybody poops, too.
Everybody... Ooh. You know what? Everybody Poops is a better children's book than Everybody Dies. Grandpa and Grandma.
Wait, no, isn't there a children's book? So who's telling about this? They're called All My Friends Are Dead?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a real children's book, or is that Go the Fuck to Sleep children's book? Oh, to Go the Fuck to Sleep children's book. Because have you ever... I have Go the Fuck to Sleep. I bought the Kindle. Anyway, I don't know why my asides are all braggadocio. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I have a Twitter account. Anyway, things are happening. This bottle of water's mine. And, so I do think that there's.
I hope.
What do you want to happen?
I mean, I would love it if, they really made it like there was an AmeriCorps full of therapists.
Okay.
That just hit the streets. That just really... Because think of all the crazy things that would be eradicated if, there were red flags. And also, at a young age. When a young person's 13, you're like, ooh, that's sociopathic.
Right.
The things you're doing. Or not even that. Or, oh, this kid... Sometimes it's no one's fault. That's the problem. Sometimes it's just their parents weren't bad people. They just were neglective because they were busy.
Right.
Because they were working 50 hours a week. And this kid kind of grew up with no self-confidence, and now he's just an introvert and being picked on and can't... It's not that it's like your kids are always going to get picked on. Trying to make bullies stop picking on kids is a moot point, but being able to take kids and let them or make them understand how to overcome and deal with being picked on.
Yeah, because
that's where we need to go.
I mean, how some people are raised in a very good environment. You're taught the difference between right and wrong. You're taught that you are loved, that you are a valuable person, and then you get to be 22 and you're depressed anyway, and you're like, oh, and you have to realize that you can still mourn your childhood, right? Like you can still be sad and mad about shit that happened when you were a kid, but you have to be mad and sad about things that happen to you before you can get through it to find a place where you can forgive everybody and accept everybody and just sort of, then you can get on with your life, and there's no essentially we all turn 20 or 21 and we're like, you know what I'm going to do? Crawl into a bottle. This is going to be fantastic. And then
throw myself into the ocean.
I'm going to self-medicate until I'm 30, and then when I'm 30, I'm going to look around and go, oh, it doesn't really fucking matter. And then you'll just sort of, and you'll be half mad and you'll be half over it. And some people are 36 years old and they're still mad at their parents, and you're like, yeah, I really wish you would have talked about this with somebody when you were 24. No?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Because now you got that hard edge.
Right, because
now that anger's been seasoned, man. Sharpened, you know what I mean?
Blackened.
It blackened. You blacken that anger.
Catfish of
and
a
it's
soul.
not good for you.
It is not good for you. That is not going to be a tasty treat. That is okay. So Sean Patton, this has been kind of fascinating, and an hour's already up, of course.
It's already up.
Because that's what happens. That's what happens with the Dork Forest, you guys. We start talking, and then all of a sudden the hour's over, and you're like, wait, what?
You get lost. You don't want to find your way back. So stay here.
Chirp, chirp, chirp,
exactly.
chirp. Dork, dork,
Who's
dork,
got a
dork,
tent?
dork,
Do we even need one?
Anyway, so is it SeanPatton.com? No.
No, actually,
nobody can own that.
It's a very hilarious point that my website's awful. It's IamSeanPatton.com, but it's awful, and I need someone to tweet at me at Mr. Sean Patton and tell me that you can fix it.
Okay.
Because it's the guy I hired
it didn't work out.
Don't do business with friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't do business with friends.
Right.
It's not worth it.
You want to continue to be friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or continue to do business.
One of those two.
We're
ways.
still friends, just business is done now.
It just didn't.
So, but yeah.
So you could go to I Am Sean Patton, look at it, and go, oh yeah, that's a mess.
That
does
bad.
need to be fixed out.
It's a WordPress site. I don't remember my password. Neither does he. It's ridiculous.
There's an AOL account somewhere in the other world that your password can be sent to.
Exactly. But if you want to, if you tweet at me at MrSeanPatton.com,
Vilmos does my website. He's a good guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real good guy.
Done.
Vilmos. If you go to JackieCation.com, scroll to the very bottom. There's like a unfortunate neon clicker. Click on that, and but my site's pretty good.
Vilmos.
What?
It's Vilmos. He comes
Vilmos.
from
I believe he lives here in Illinois. He might be here. Are you here, Bill? No.
It seems like one of those things where you just have to go out into the Vilmos. And just wait for him to hear that.
And he will rise from the ether.
Yeah. Yes.
May I help you? Yeah. So we'll hook that up, and but you're on Twitter, Mr. Sean Patton,
yeah.
and you probably tweet shows and all that kind of stuff. Where are you in August? You gonna lie down?
I think I'm in New York for most of August, and I'm doing the High Plains Comedy Fest in Denver.
Okay.
In August, and I'm doing the Nut Street Comedy Club at the end of August. I can't remember the exact dates, but I think it's last weekend in Wilmington, North Carolina.
All right.
Pretty dope. And I do have that this show, the Best Bars in America on Esquire.
Okay.
With Jay Larson airing.
Oh, that's right
now.
That's right. Best Bars in America. Jay Larson on Esquire Television. Correct?
Yeah.
All right.
We are drunk on television.
Sweet.
For an hour at a time.
1 hour at a time. And are you really drunk?
Yes.
Okay. You're like, why not? Mm-hmm. They still pay us. Why not be drunk? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you've chosen wisely. Thank you so much for coming to a live episode of the Dork Forest here at the Chicago Exposition, Comedy Festival Exposition, where we've exposed our comedy to people. And we've, this has been such a great fest thing. I don't know. Super fun. Thanks a lot for coming, guys. Good night.
Yes.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?